Pretty but isolated. Why so many gay men feel alone despite having it all. So this journal is for gay men ready to take off the mask and be loved as their whole, honest selves. So I actually got inspired by 2 comments. Here's the first one. I'm a gay POC and was obsessed with my looks in a good and bad way. I feel like that was what fucked up my entire 20s. I got all the materialistic stuff I want, finished college, but I still feel like I missed out. I want my Prince Charming and friends that I can connect with deeply. Second comment, all the clean-cut fashion stuff feeds the corporate machine and our insecurities. I'm pleased to see more folks stepping outside of the domesticated, colonized mindset. So let's get straight into it. Section 1, the illusion they sold us. How companies keep us chasing connection, which only increases their profits. They sold us an image, perfect skin, perfect body, perfect life, and told us that if we chase it hard enough, we'd finally feel whole. But the truth is, it rarely helps us feel connected. It mainly keeps us chasing connection and increasing our insecurities. Capitalism feeds off our longing, turning beauty into currency and worth into something earned. Somewhere along the way, being desirable became more important than being known. So much of what we chase isn't even ours. We've been trained to value things that leave us empty, while the things that nourish us get buried or dismissed. But as we begin to wake up, it's worth asking, in today's society, what is considered important? So, for those of you that have downloaded the journal, again, that link is in my bio. I want you to mark all that apply for you. I always like you all to start thinking for yourselves, because this is not me trying to brainwash you. I'm not trying to make you think like me. I am just presenting a topic, starting the conversation, and I just want to discuss it with y'all because I've been feeling this, and clearly other people have been feeling this because I got this from comment sections. But all that to say, I want you to take the time to mark all that apply. So, is it physical attractiveness, follower count and online engagement, sexual desirability, rest and balance, emotional availability, gentleness and empathy, productivity and hustle, ability to appear happy even when you're not, humility and presence, designer clothes and trendiness, self-awareness and truth-telling, deep listening, and vulnerability. What do you believe is important in today's society? So after you've marked everything that you believe is important in today's society, let's bring it back to ourselves. What is important to you? So I ask you, are you worthy of having deep connections? And if so, what makes you worthy? The next question is, how would someone see this worthiness? Or is it something that cannot be seen? Our longing to be seen, chosen, and admired has become a billion-dollar opportunity. Beauty, fashion, tech, fitness, they all promise connection, but most deliver comparison, resulting in us feeling less than, lacking, not enough, aka insecure. In gay spaces, beauty and desirability have become currency. And many of us have learned to play the game well. We build the body, curate the image, gather followers, and attract attention. On the surface, it looks like we've made it, but underneath, many are still aching, not for more likes, but for real connection. And also, excuse me, I am recovering from a cold, so if I sound a little congested, that is why. But I really wanted to get this video made and done because I really resonate with this topic. The truth is, being pretty doesn't protect us from being alone. In fact, it can isolate us even more because people stop seeing us and only see the image. We become admired but not known, watched but not held, and in that gap between visibility and intimacy, real loneliness grows. So, to illustrate this further, specifically, the difference between superficial connection and real connection and which one feels nurturing to you, no judgment, I have some scenarios. So I want you to tell me, what would you choose? Scenario number 1, you're scrolling alone and feeling low. Which would you choose? A stranger replying to your story with fire emojis, or a close friend sending you a voice note just to check in? And I don't know about y'all, but I have one specific friend that majority of our conversations are voice notes. And I feel more connected to this friend than I do a lot of my other ones. And I can only begin to believe that it is because they send me voice notes. I can hear their inflection when they talk about certain things. I can hear the pauses, and I can almost hear them in those pauses thinking more deeply about what they're saying. And it's almost like this unedited, uncurated version, just raw. And something about that makes me feel a lot more connected to them. Scenario number 2. You show up to a party dressed to impress. Which would you choose? Someone compliments your outfit and moves on, or someone pulls you aside and asks you how you really have been, how you've really been. So I am the friend, at least I try to, and people that go to Union Cafe in Columbus, Ohio can attest to this. Maybe AWOL a little bit too, but by the time I get to AWOL, I typically will be completely drunk. But my intention is to touch, love, and care for the community. And I just want to make sure my girls are okay. And that's my intention. That's what I want to do. I be having, I swear, sometimes little mini therapy sections while we're drunk at the bar, which I'm pretty sure many of you can resonate with, because I feel like I'm starting to attract a lot of empaths as my viewers and watchers, highly sensitive people. And that feels more real to me. Like, I want to know what's really going on with you. How was your week? Are you okay? Are you drinking to escape, or you just need to relax? You're just out for a good time? Do you need someone to talk to? But it's funny because I say I give that, but what I get in return is just compliments on my outfit. Not too many people actually ask me how I'm doing or check in on me. There might have been 1 or 2 people that I can remember. And I mean, honestly, at that point, I was kind of like, this is not the place or the time. But all that to say, which would you choose? Which one feels more nurturing and nourishing to your soul? And I'm not just talking to the pretty boys out here, I'm talking to everybody, because I know there's all these standards now. I don't want to even get into all that. But all that to say, which would you choose? Scenario number 3. After a hard week, you're emotionally drained. Which would you choose? Someone invites you to hook up to take the edge off, or someone texts you, want to come over and just rest with me? Oh my God, this is like my favorite thing to do with my partners when we're on good terms. Because honestly, right now, both of them are getting on my nerves. But when we're on good terms, just laying next to them, just watching TV, just walking the dogs. It's almost like just being in each other's presence, but not speaking, but just being next to each other. There's something that is very relaxing and resting about that. I don't know if it's the lack of no one communicating what is going on, their needs, their opinions. I think that's a lot of what it is, because in today's day and age, every platform, every person is on their soapbox. My dad used to say to me when I was younger, get off your soapbox. But people have a lot to get off their chest. All that to say, resting with someone and not having to actually have sex can be nourishing to the soul, and is nourishing to my soul. But again, this is not just about me, this is about you all as well. Which one would you choose? And then, scenario number 4, you've been feeling unattractive and invisible. Which would you choose? You post a thirst trap and get 300 likes, or a friend sends you an unfiltered photo of you laughing and says, this is one of my favorite photos of you. I've actually had both happen. One was actually my partner. It was my partner that sent me the photo. And I remember just feeling like, oh wow, he likes me unfiltered. That must be why he sticks around. And then I've also been that boy that posts half naked pictures on my Instagram just to get attention and likes. And the one of my boyfriend being like, I love seeing you, almost just like this, that really hit home and resonated with me. That made me feel like our love was realer than just my sex appeal or my desirability. All right, so how they profit off of our need, want, and desire for connection. Our deep need for connection is constantly exploited. Dating apps, social media platforms, and beauty industries profit from the loneliness they help to create, offering dopamine hits instead of real closeness. The more isolated we feel, the more we scroll, swipe, and spend, as author Jenny Odell writes in How to Do Nothing. The platforms that promise connection are designed to keep us wanting, not satisfied. So how do they keep us wanting and not satisfied? They give us just enough to keep us coming back. A match, a compliment, but not enough to truly feel loved or known. Everything is built from endless scrolling and swiping, not from depth or closure. The goal isn't to fulfill our desire for connection, it's to keep us chasing. So I created a short list to go where I kind of want to say confirm, but more so, I'm just presenting what I think and my beliefs when it comes to whatever. I'm just sharing my opinion and my experiences. So to me, how these companies keep us chasing, here's a short listicle. And of course, I want to hear your voice. I want you to join the conversation. So if you have a different opinion, talk to me. Don't take this personal. Don't get mad. Don't yell at me. Don't shame me. Don't judge me. Just talk to me. Again, join the conversation. Link down below in my bio in the description box. But to me, how these companies keep us chasing connection is through the infinite scrolling, the curated profile bios and photos. I might butcher this word. The algorithmic popularity, and then seen and typing indicators. You know how like when you see someone's message or someone has seen your message or they're typing or whatever, it kind of keeps you on edge, wanting more or whatever. And then the swipe-based matching. So I go into more detail. So again, if you download the journal, you can read more into that if you would like. But moving forward to how they profit. So these platforms profit every time we open the app, choose a match, or post for validation. The longer we stay stuck in the loop, swiping, scrolling, and searching, the more ads we see, boost we buy, and data we give. And I can't remember the documentary, but there was a documentary that was talking about, well, you all remember the whole Facebook situation where they were selling our data. And I was just like, so they have been making bank off of us, and we are all just not even realizing it. Well, some of us are slowly starting to become conscious of these things. Our chasing fuels their revenue. All right, section 2, alone in the mirror, why having it all is still leaving you disconnected. So I want to first talk about what is it all. So what does having it all mean to you? So I want you to mark all that apply. Is it a high-paying, prestigious job? Having a fit, lean, and muscular body? Being constantly booked and busy? Driving the right car, living in the right neighborhood? Owning a home or a luxury apartment? Getting married and possibly having kids? Wearing designer or on-trend clothes? Looking young, polished, and photo ready at all times. I don't know how some of y'all do that. That shit is exhausting. Being in a traditional monogamous relationship, traveling often and sharing it online, having a big social circle, and being well-liked. And then lastly, being emotionally unbothered, confident, and successful. I have been noticing a lot people pushing that. Unbothered, confident, and just being focused on yourself. I don't know why that's a new thing. I'm not judging it. I'm just noticing that's been pushed a lot recently. I think a lot of us are just tired of giving so much and not receiving in return. And we're like, all of our energy back. Again, no judgment and just acknowledging that is a thing. So mark all that apply. What does having it all mean to you? After you mark all of those, I want us to ask ourselves another question. Where did you learn that this was having it all? I mean, where did it come from? I want you to really think about it. Did it come from media? Did it come from social media? Did it come from your favorite movies? Did it come from Disney movies? Did it come from TV shows? Did it come from music? Did it come from your parents? Did it come from your family? Did it come from your friends? Does it come from your friend group? Is it coming from the gay community? And then after you figure out where you learned all these, maybe you learned them from yourself, maybe you created them from yourself or for yourself, I want you to ask yourself, have you ever questioned if this was true for you? I think sometimes we get on these autopilot modes. Sorry, I think there's something on my eyelash. We get into these autopilot modes, which I'm gonna discuss more briefly. And we need to pause and think, does this resonate with me? Is this true for me? Is this nurturing to my soul? Or am I just playing a fucking game? All right, after you answer that question, yes or no, let's not get too complicated with that one, because that one should be simple. How do you know if this is true for you? Now for me, okay, I'm not gonna talk about me. See, like I'm ready to get right into that. All right, so now that you've gotten your thoughts out, let me share mine. I want to share my thought process when it comes to having it all. All right, so stick with me. I typically don't do these long things, but I want to communicate what I believe because again, I want to hear what you guys think and I want to have these conversations. I don't think many of us ever stop to ask what having it all truly looks or feels like for us. Most of us were spoon-fed different versions of success. A good job, an attractive body, the right partner, financial stability, happy kids, a perfect house, a vibrant social life, giving back to our community, and taking care of our families. We didn't just pick one. We tried to do them all. We saw everything expected of us and tried to become it. And in that effort, we got caught in a race, a blur, so distracted and exhausted that we rarely pause long enough to ask, is this what it's supposed to feel like? Is this what having it all feels like? But eventually we end up alone, standing in front of the mirror, and what do we see? All the things we've accomplished, all the effort we poured out, and I'm saying on your face. Or am I the only person that at the end of the day, I look at myself like, God damn, I'm tired. But not like tired and I look like I'm tired, but it's kind of just like looking in the mirror. And at least for me, at the end of the day, I'm kind of like, we did it. We did another day. What did you do today? I don't know. Is that me? Is that anybody else where everything that you did for the day kind of just like, it kind of hits you like, this is who I am. This is me. This is what I do. This is what I wake up. This is my life. This is what I'm living. Maybe it's just me. But what do we feel? Not peace, not arrival, not joy. We feel tired, disconnected, alone. And in these moments, we don't feel like we're allowed to fall apart because having it all also means holding it all together. So instead of falling into the truth, we fall back into our routines. We do our skincare, we cover up the tired, we polish the look. But rarely do we ask, am I actually okay? Is this my vision or one that was sold to me? So, where does the disconnection come from? To begin to illustrate this, I want us to first think of the opposite. So ask yourself, what does real connection feel like for me? So there is space for you to dig deeper by yourself. Again, I never want to force my thoughts or opinions on you. I just want to have a conversation. And then after that, I want you to mark all that apply. So is real connection getting likes, comments, and story views? Sharing reels and TikToks with a friend? Being invited to the party? Driving the right car, living in the right neighborhood, feeling safe enough to be soft, messy, or unsure, being seen without needing to be impressive, silence that feels comforting, not awkward. Knowing someone's presence means you don't have to pretend. Ooh, I love being around people like that. Getting a late night, what are you doing text? Laughing deeply and unexpectedly. Being asked how you really are and being given time to answer. Ooh, I love people like that. And then lastly, being missed for who you are, not just what you offer. All right, now that you have your thoughts, let me share my list. Here is how I compare the two. So I have a little comparison. Again, these are just my opinions. Again, talk to me. I want you to join the conversation, rebuttal with me. Mentally stimulating conversation, I love it. So we have real connection versus superficial connection. Real connection to me is a soul embrace, mutual, steady, and unquestioned. Showing up honestly without needing to impress. Making space for each other's truth, limits, and evolution. Evolution, oh, that is big. People, we evolve. Nobody can stay the same. Mutual support that feels nourishing, not draining. Shared values and visions, even if paths look different. Deep listening where silence is allowed to speak. Healthy interdependence, not needing, but choosing. Joy in each other's growth, not threat or jealousy. And then intentional slowness. The connection is felt, not forced. And then when it comes to superficial connection, this is what I believe. I believe it is attention-seeking masked as intimacy, being desired for your body, lifestyle, or image, not your essence. Shallow conversation with no real questions asked. Constant posting, but no real presence. Unspoken agreements that this is temporary. No curiosity, no depth, just convenience. Being used to pass time, gain status, or fill a void. Mismatched values, but forced chemistry. Giving too much or holding back out of fear of not being chosen. I think a big reason so many of us feel disconnected, even when we have it all, is because we're not showing up as our real whole selves. We're still wearing masks, hiding behind layers of image, status, control, and performance. And sadly, this has become the norm, not just in society, but within our own community. There's a game being played. I'm perfect, I have it all together. But the cost of that game is real connection. Because when you wear the perfect mask, you attract others doing the same. And someone who's raw, real, emotional, and craving so deep connection won't feel safe with you because perfection feels untouchable. You cannot build intimacy when everyone's pretending they don't need it. And that's what leaves us all alone in the mirror. Flawless on the outside, but starving on the inside. So next, I want us to get real with ourselves. So you know what that means, assessment time. The perfection mask, am I wearing it? So my intention with this assessment is for us to explore whether we've been showing up as our full selves or just the most polished version. So there are 3 sections. Section 1 is about perfection, shame, and the emotional armor. This is inspired by The Gifts of Imperfection by Brene Brown. I love that book. Section 2, curated care versus true self-honoring. This is inspired by real self-care, and I do not want to butcher this name, so I'm not going to pronounce it. I don't want to fuck it up. And then section 3 is love, mask, and emotional truth. This is inspired by All About Love by Bell Hooks. So now that you've taken the assessment, now that I have shared my thoughts, I invite you to now share your thoughts. Why do so many gay men feel alone despite having it all? Can't wait to start the conversation with you all. Remember to be the change you wish to see. Take care.